Friends, Shabbat Shalom again. It's a pleasure to be able to share some words of Torah with you on this weekend. Every person has regrets. Things that we've done, things that we should not have done, words that we said, words that we shouldn't have said, goals that we wish that we had achieved but did not. That's part of life. As a rabbi, I have regrets, and I will keep them to myself, except for one. I regret that I never served as a military chaplain. I grew up during the Vietnam War period. Military service was not on the list of things that I was planning on doing. In my last year of rabbinical school, a Navy chaplain, a recent graduate of the seminary where I studied, came to speak of us about military chaplaincy. But again, my attitude towards this kind of rabbinic service was less than enthusiastic. My attitude did change. When I was living on Long Island as a rabbi in the aftermath of 9/11, I began to reflect on the dedication of our soldiers, willing to volunteer and to serve in Iraq and Afghanistan. Young men and women who were willing to sign up to defend our country. Their bravery was and is extraordinary, and unfortunately the scars that they carry are quite tragic. A group of Long Island rabbis went on an overnight visit to West Point. We met with the Jewish chaplain. We toured the beautiful Jewish chapel at West Point, and all of the military academies have these beautiful chaplains. The one at Annapolis is incredible. And then we ate dinner with some of the cadets, some of the Jewish cadets. And they were among the most impressive young people that I've ever met, representing the best of America and the best of the Jewish community. And an interesting fact was when you spoke to these young people, not only were they idealistic about their future and who knows what they did in terms of service to their country, that was years ago, but the fact is that they all said that their experience at West Point and the Jewish community that had been created there really was one of the high points in their own Jewish evolution. I even investigated joining the chaplaincy as a reserve officer, but I was already beyond the age of 42, the cutoff, so I didn't have the opportunity, and probably the military is probably happy that I didn't join, but I had that inclination. Now, as we know, this weekend we celebrate Memorial Day. Memorial Day originally was honored only those who lost their lives in the Civil War, but the holiday has evolved to commemorate American military personnel who died in all the wars. Jewish service in the American military has been quite extraordinary. Let me give you an example from World War II. During World War II, 550,000 Jewish men and women served. The total number of Jewish casualties was 38,388. 11,000 were killed in combat, 7,000 of which occurred 11,000 were killed, 7,000 which occurred directly in combat. Now, another 150,000 Jewish servicemen served in Korea, and 30,000 more served in Vietnam. More recently, thousands of Jews served in Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom, and an estimated 10,000 American Jews continue to serve across 5 U.S. military branches today. One important story about Jews and the military service comes from World War II. And I've shared this story before with the congregation, but I want to share it again. In fact, it would be appropriate for me to share it every Memorial Day weekend, and perhaps that will become my tradition because it's such an important moment in American history and American Jewish history. The fight for Iwo Jima in 1945 was one of the bloodiest. A tiny island in the Pacific, Iwo Jima was the setting for a 5-week nonstop battle between 7,000 American Marines and an unknown number of Japanese soldiers. And the courage of American forces climaxed in the raising of the American flag over Mount Suribachi, which is memorialized in Washington, D.C. Less remembered is the eloquent eulogy offered by Marine Corps Rabbi Roland Gittleson, who was assigned to the 5th Marine Division and was the first Jewish chaplain the Marine Corps ever appointed. The American invading force at Iwo Jima included approximately 1,500 Jewish Marines. And Rabbi Gittleson was in the middle of the battle and was tireless in his support of soldiers of all faiths in the battlefield, and he stood next to people of all faiths as they passed into eternity. And when the fighting was over, Division Chaplain Warren Ruthriel, a Protestant minister, asked Rabbi Gittleson to deliver a memorial sermon at the combined religious service dedicating the Marine Cemetery. Guthriel wanted all the fallen Marines, black and white, Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish, honored in a single non-denominational ceremony. However, the majority of Christian chaplains objected to having a rabbi preach over predominantly Christian graves. And the Catholic chaplains, in keeping with church doctrine, opposed any form of joint religious service. To his credit, Guthriel refused to alter his plans. Gittleson, on the other hand, wanted to save his friend Guthriel further embarrassment and so decided it was best not to deliver a sermon. Instead, 3 separate religious services were held. At the Jewish service, to a congregation of 70 or so who attended, Rabbi Gittleson delivered the powerful eulogy he originally wrote for the combined service. It is historic. You can go on the internet and Google it, and you can find it in its entirety. It's magnificent. But let me share with you the part that I think is most significant for us to experience today. And imagine what it was like for Rabbi Gittleson in Iwo Jima, in front of this crowd, offering this message. Here lies men who loved America because their ancestors generation ago helped in her founding, and other men who loved her with equal passion because themselves or their own fathers escaped from oppression to her blessed shores. Here lies officers and men, Negroes and whites, rich men and poor together. Here are Protestant, Catholics, and Jews together. Here no man prefers another because of his faith or despises him because of his color. Here there are no quotas of how many from each group are admitted or allowed. Among these men there is no discrimination, no prejudices, no hatred. Theirs is the highest and purest democracy. Whosoever of us lifts his hand in hate against a brother who thinks himself superior to those who happen to be in the minority makes of this ceremony and the bloody sacrifices it commemorates an empty, hollow mockery. To this, then, as our solemn duty, sacred duty, do we, the living, now dedicate ourselves to the rights of Protestants, Catholics, and Jews, of white men and Negroes alike, to enjoy the democracy for which all of them have here paid the price. We here solemnly swear that this shall not be in vain. Out of this, and from the suffering and sorrow of those who mourn, this will come, we promise, the birth of a new freedom for the sons of men everywhere. Among Rabbi Gittleson's listeners were 3 Protestant chaplains so horrified by the prejudice voiced by their colleagues that they boycotted their own service to attend Gittleson's. And one of them borrowed the manuscript of this eulogy, unknown to Gittleson, and circulated several thousand copies. Eventually, the entire sermon was inserted in the Congressional Record. The Army released the eulogy for shortwave broadcast to American troops throughout the world, and radio commentator Robert St. John read it on his program and on many succeeding Memorial Days. Rabbi Gittleson went on to be one of the most extraordinary rabbis of the 20th century, serving a Reformed congregation in Boston for many years. Now, the story is quite important on this specific Memorial Day weekend. America is about pluralism, religious inclusivity. America is supposed to be different, but it is not. Anti-Semitism is increasing in this country. Jews are attacked in restaurants eating dinner. Jews are attacked in Times Square in New York. Synagogues are desecrated. Discomfort with the challenges of the Palestinians has given people license to attack Jews in America. And in my opinion, it is not a passing phenomenon. It could get worse. We American Jews do not need to legitimate our existence. No group in America needs to do that. We're all citizens. We all have the rights of citizens. We don't have to defend our right to exist. And yet, on this Memorial Day, we must stand firm for our own security, to demand from America to live up to the promise that it's made to the American Jews. On Memorial Day, we need to remind America that there is no group that has contributed more, including their lives, to the nation than the Jews. America has been blessed, has been a blessing for the Jews, but we need America to bless us. We need our neighbors to voice their support, to speak out against hatred, to affirm that we Jews are truly brothers and sisters. Jews need America. America needs the Jews. We all need each other. Let us celebrate that on Memorial Day of 2021. So friends, before our services, Becky, Nathan, and I decided that, there are fallen service people of all religions. And in Jewish tradition, as we've done in many occasions, you offer this prayer of remembrance, the El Malei Rachamim, for our fallen service members. So I'm going to ask Becky to come forward to chant for us the El Malei Rachamim, and then I'll continue with an appropriate English translation of it. Exalted, compassionate God, grant perfect peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure, whose radiance is like the heavens. To all the men and women who gave their lives in defense of our country and the freedom of the world, Master of mercy, may they find eternal shelter beneath your sheltering wings, and may their soul be bound up in the bond of life, together with their righteous souls to stand in your presence. May they rest with honor, and may their actions hasten the day when righteousness, peace, and security shall prevail forever. When nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they who study war any more. And when the glory of the eternal will be revealed, and all flesh and blood will see it together, the fullness of a blissful joy in your presence, at your right hand forevermore. And we say, Amen. So let us continue with